Hi everyone, it's Liam here from Rating the Races. I thought we'd very quickly go through a few races that have been the last few days, or talk about some interesting points that I've noticed. First one, we'll talk about Classical Dream. Really disappointing in the Galmoy hurdle. I was going to call it the Galway hurdle then. The Galmoy hurdle, only fourth. Didn't really have excuses, didn't for me. Looked like he just ran a really, really flat race. That would be a concern if you're on Classical Dream for the Stayers Hurdle. We're not. We're actually on Time Hill. I think Time Hill's going to run a big race still. Champ is the one to beat. We were obviously beaten by Champ last time at Ascot. Champ is the one to beat. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. If he comes out and gets beat tomorrow, we could have another new favourite for the Stayers Hurdle. We're on at 12's for Time Hill, and hopefully, he's not going to go off that price come Cheltenham Festival. And if Champ does disappoint tomorrow, then that could be interesting. In terms of what happened here, Roar Kahala, she's given herself more substance to her form, going for the Mares Hurdle. The other two, Home by the Lee and Ashdale Bob, they're not good enough to win graded races. So Classical Dream getting beat by them is really worrying. It wouldn't surprise me if they end up saying Classical Dream doesn't turn up to the Cheltenham Festival due to suffering an injury, which Willie Mullins does seem to have quite a poor record for things like that. But obviously he has a lot of high-profile horses, so it may just be that's why we pick up on it. Second race I want to talk about was Shishkin against Energumene. I thought Best Horse won the race. I think Best Horse will win the race again at Cheltenham in Shishkin. People have suggested that, if Shishkin runs below par, then Energumene wins. I agree. If Energumene runs below par, Shishkin wins. I don't think that's a valid argument. And it's not like Shishkin is 1 to 5. He's 4 to 6, I think. If they all run to their best of their ability, Shishkin wins. I think the course will suit more. The uphill finish will suit more. The way the race is run will suit more. He's been to Cheltenham. He's been to the Cheltenham Festival. There's lots of positives. A few people suggested that Energumene wants the better going. Stats disagree. Stats actually suggest that Shishkin would improve more. In actual fact, Energumene would go the other way. And if you actually look at what Energumene had beaten, maybe he was just beating Grade 3 horses, where at least Shishkin he's now beaten 3 Grade 1 horses. Granted, 2 of them in this race, in First Flow and Energumene, but he's also beaten Grianatine, who had won at Tingle Creek. So I just think Shishkin is the better horse, personally. Fernie Hollow, really disappointed to see Fernie Hollow out of the Arkle. For me, that was one of I thought it was going to be the banker of the festival, but that just shows how, we're still months away from the festival, and you can't have bankers of the festival just yet. In terms of what do we have in the race, we've actually advised 2 in it, and neither of them are running. We've advised Appreciate It, who would have taken all of the beating, and we've advised Mon Morale, who isn't going over fences, really should have done. All the stats pointed to the French horses that Paul Nicholls has that go over fences. They do really well, especially as 5-year-olds. He's not going for it. It leaves Blue Lord as the favourite. I think Blue Lord is good, but I think he kind of reminds me of like Aramon. That's the sort of level I think he is. Not quite Grade 1 company. Could win a Grade 2 or could win a Grade 1 when the big dangers are out. So that's a little bit disappointing. A couple of warnings or rants now. First one, I noticed that Ruby Walsh has been doing a blog on Sporting Life, talking about horses, and read what it says here. It says, but I would say Sir Gerhard has drifted for no reason, and I think the 8 to 1 is too big a price for him. Are you suggesting it as a bet then? The reason I asked that, he also does another one, and even here, I think he's value too, because he's definitely going to be here, walking on air. Are you suggesting that as a bet? Because you're not on the road to Cheltenham, the one with Lydia Hislop. So he's got 2 different blogs, and he's not conflicting, but he's saying one thing on one and not quite saying it on the other. So just be careful when you're following tipsters or pundits like that. They'll talk up one horse on one place, but not necessarily talk it up elsewhere. So, yeah, I'm just not a fan of blogs in different places. And the second one that I thought was terrible, I got a text from my dad earlier this week saying he'd done a couple of horses for the Cheltenham Festival and he'd done one for the team. To which I replied, one for the team has died. And yet he was able to back him. He was able to back him just a couple of days ago. Look when they priced this horse up. The 12th of January, the 13th of January and the 24th of January. Unibet on the 24th of January. One for the team died on the 19th of March 2021. 9 months before. What on earth are their teams doing if they're pricing up horses that have died? It's not that they've been ruled out for the season. We know what can happen there. Kicking King, Binocular, as a couple of examples. The horse has died. He's definitely not going to be running. I've highlighted it. They then apologised. I can't remember what they actually said. Thanks for raising this, Liam. The horse will be removed from all markets and any bets voided. To which I replied, why does it take me to raise that? Surely someone in the team should have noticed this or realised this when pricing up the horse. If you have had a bet on one for the team, make sure you go and get your money back. Go and speak to them, go and have a moan at them, explain that, just use my tweet. It died 9 months ago. Get your money back. So there's just a couple of rants or concerns about pundits and bookmakers.